Hello. If you'd like to try Visual COBOL in the Azure cloud and want to know how to get started, you've come to the right place. The Azure Marketplace contains hundreds of software products that you can use in Azure, including Visual COBOL. We provide a template available from the Azure Marketplace that will create a virtual machine with either Visual COBOL for Visual Studio or Visual COBOL for Eclipse pre-installed. The process usually takes around 15 minutes to get an image deployed and ready to use, and it's a great way to try out Visual COBOL. Once you have a VM provisioned in Azure, you'll use a remote desktop connection from your personal machine to access the Visual COBOL development tools running in Azure. There are 3 steps you need to complete. First of all, get a free 30-day license for Visual COBOL. Next, provision a virtual machine in Azure with Visual COBOL pre-installed. And finally, connect to the running image using remote desktop connection. If you don't have an Azure subscription, you'll need to sign up, and we'll show you how to do that later. Keep in mind, although the Visual COBOL software trial is provided free of charge, using Visual COBOL in Azure will mean you're using Azure resources, and you may be charged for these. The default machine used for Visual COBOL costs in the region of about 25 cents per hour in the US. If you haven't used Azure before, you may receive free credits when you sign up. First of all, let's get a 30-day evaluation license to use Visual COBOL. Head over to this URL on microfocus.com, and on this page you'll find a link to obtain a trial license key, like this one. As part of the registration process, you'll need to select the IDE you want to use, either Eclipse or Visual Studio. Once you've done this, complete the simple registration form and submit. Look out for an email and follow the link to your own personal Visual COBOL for Azure trial download page. On this page, you'll find the Visual COBOL trial license key. Keep this handy for the next step. Step 2. Provision a Visual COBOL image from the Azure Marketplace. Existing Azure users should sign in to the Azure portal here. For new users, go here. Typically, Azure offer free credits for first-time users, so your trial could be free. If you happen to be a Visual Studio subscriber, you may have free Azure credits you can activate. Head to this URL and then click the Benefits page to see if you have Azure credits as part of your Visual Studio subscription. Once signed into the Azure portal, search the marketplace for Visual COBOL. When you've found the listing, click Create. There are 4 simple steps you need to complete at this stage. First of all, configure the VM settings. Here you pick whether you want Visual Studio or Eclipse installed, and you can enter your trial license key you obtained in step 1. Finally, choose the location nearest you where the VM will be deployed. In step 2, configure the name of the VM and choose a username and password you will use when connecting. Step 3 is a summary to check everything is correct. And finally, in step 4 are the terms and conditions. If you're happy, click OK to start the deployment. The portal should show you a notification like this one. Wait until the deployment has completed successfully before connecting to the VM. Once the deployment is complete, go to the main portal page and click All Services and search for virtual machines. Click on the VM you've just provisioned to connect. Step 3. Connect to your Azure VM. In the VM page, you can connect to your image in one of 2 ways, either by copying the IP address and then starting remote desktop connection manually, or click the Connect link to download a remote desktop connection shortcut. Once downloaded, launch the shortcut to start the remote desktop software. If you run remote desktop from the Start menu, specify the IP address of the VM and the username you used when creating the image. You may be prompted to confirm you wish to connect to the machine, and finally enter the password you used for your VM in order to log in. If you encounter any credential issues, try prefixing the username with a /. You should now be connected to the remote desktop machine. Launch the Visual Studio icon on the desktop, and if you ever need to return to your own desktop, move the mouse to the top of the screen to locate the remote desktop connection taskbar. Visual Studio will ask you to sign in. Create an account if you don't already have one. If you see a message that tells you your license is stale, just click Check for an updated license to continue. Once Visual Studio is running, filter the list of projects to COBOL and create a sample WinForms project. If you miss setting up your license key when creating your image, you get the chance to do that now. You should now be all set to use Visual COBOL in the Azure cloud. Don't forget to shut down your image when you've finished to avoid incurring extra costs. And thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy your trial, and if you've got any questions, you can get them answered here on our community site.